The world of the Mongols before their rise to power. The Mongols were nomadic pastoralists living on the vast grasslands of modern-day Mongolia. Their lives revolved around horses, herding, and survival in a brutal climate. Mongol society was organized into clans and tribes, often engaged in constant rivalry. Loyalty was personal rather than institutional, and leadership depended on strength, charisma, and the ability to provide protection and resources. The steppe environment produced exceptional horsemen. From childhood, Mongols learned to ride, hunt, and shoot with deadly accuracy using composite bows. Mobility and endurance became the foundation of their future military success. The rise of Genghis Khan, the unification of the Mongol tribes, was achieved by one man, Temujin, later known as Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler. Born around 1162, Temujin endured extreme hardship in his youth, including betrayal, enslavement, and the murder of his father. These experiences shaped his ruthless determination. By forming alliances, rewarding loyalty based on merit rather than noble birth, and crushing rivals with decisive force, Temujin united the Mongol tribes by 1206. He was proclaimed Genghis Khan at a grand assembly called a Kurultai, marking the birth of the Mongol Empire. Military genius and conquest. The Mongol military was revolutionary. Their armies were highly disciplined, organized in decimal units, and capable of extraordinary speed. Mongol warriors could ride for days with minimal supplies, carrying multiple horses to switch mounts. Their use of psychological warfare, spreading terror through brutal reprisals, often caused cities to surrender without a fight. Mongol tactics included feigned retreats, encirclement, and coordinated multi-directional attacks. Communication was maintained through flags, horns, and messengers. Siege warfare, once a weakness, became a strength as the Mongols recruited engineers from conquered regions, especially from China and Persia. Expansion across Eurasia. Under Genghis Khan, the Mongols conquered vast territories, including northern China, Central Asia, and Persia. After his death in 1227, his successors expanded the empire even further. Within a few decades, Mongol armies reached Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and Korea. The empire was eventually divided into four major khanates: the Yuan dynasty in China, founded by Kublai Khan, the Ilkhanate in Persia, the Chagatai Khanate in Central Asia, the Golden Horde, which ruled much of Russia and Eastern Europe. Although politically divided, these regions remained connected through shared Mongol traditions and trade networks. Destruction and terror. The Mongol conquests were extraordinarily violent. Cities that resisted were often annihilated, their populations massacred. Baghdad's destruction in 1258, once the center of Islamic learning, shocked the world. Libraries were burned, and centuries of knowledge were lost. This brutality was intentional. By making examples of resistant cities, the Mongols reduced the need for prolonged warfare elsewhere. While horrifying, this strategy allowed them to control enormous territories with relatively small armies. Pax Mongolica, an age of connection. Despite their violent reputation, the Mongols also created one of the most stable periods of trade and communication in history, known as the Pax Mongolica. Trade routes across the Silk Road became safer than ever before. Merchants, travelers, and scholars could cross Eurasia under Mongol protection. Ideas, technologies, and cultures moved freely. Gunpowder, printing, and compass navigation spread westward, while medical knowledge, astronomy, and mathematics traveled east. Famous travelers like Marco Polo reached the Mongol court and described its wealth and organization. Governance and tolerance. Mongol rulers were remarkably pragmatic. They allowed religious freedom and employed administrators from different cultures: Chinese, Persian, Arab, and European. Laws were codified under the Yasa, a legal code emphasizing loyalty, discipline, and order. Tax systems, postal networks, and census records were established to manage the empire. The Yan postal system allowed messengers to travel vast distances rapidly, helping maintain control across thousands of kilometers. Decline of the empire. By the late 14th century, the Mongol Empire began to decline. Internal conflicts, succession struggles, economic problems, and the rise of local powers weakened central authority. In China, the Yuan dynasty fell to the Ming in 1368. Other khanates fragmented or were absorbed by emerging states. The empire's sheer size also became a weakness. Governing diverse populations across continents proved increasingly difficult without a strong unifying leadership like Genghis Khan. Legacy of the Mongol Empire. The Mongol Empire's legacy is complex and often controversial. It caused immense destruction and loss of life, yet it also accelerated globalization centuries before the modern age. It connected East and West, reshaped political boundaries, and transformed warfare forever. Modern historians increasingly view the Mongols not just as conquerors, but as architects of a connected world. Their empire demonstrated how mobility, organization, and adaptability could change the course of history. Conclusion: the Mongol Empire was a force born from the steppes but felt across continents. From the rise of Genghis Khan to the vast trade networks of the Pax Mongolica, it stands as one of history's most fascinating empires. Its story is one of ambition, brutality, innovation, and connection. A reminder that even the most feared powers can leave behind a legacy far greater than destruction alone.